Let's kick it. Alright, stop, collaborate and listen. I sit back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax.
All right. Well, we are here for Chapter 7.3, the Extension Series, and we're looking at angle measurements of triangles. So I just want to be upfront about this. The stuff we're doing here is, it goes with your notes. The work you're going to do in class will be in your notes, and the work that I will look for when we grade this will be based on the work that we're showing here in this video. So make sure you're showing your work if you want full credit on your assignment. So let's go ahead and begin. Our key idea of this, as we've learned before, the sum of the angle measurements of a triangle, if you add up all three angles, it always equals 180. Okay, so that's the key idea, is that the three angles added together inside of a triangle always equals up to 180. So for example, in triangle A, I'm given two of the three angles. I'm given 28 degrees and 50 degrees. And I'm given the third measurement, which is unknown, x. So if I add the 28 plus the 50, and I get 78, and I add that to x, it should give me 180. And so what I need to do is this. So this is what you could write down, and I'm fine with this. If you write down x plus 78 equals 180, then I just want you to solve the equation. So we're going to subtract 78 from both sides. And then you're going to have x equals 102. And again, let me be very clear. When I'm checking your notes, I want to make sure that what I just wrote down, that example, the x plus 78 equals 180, you need to have that in your notes. And if you don't have that in your notes, I'm going to assume you skipped the video, okay? So I hope that you're listening. I hope you're paying attention. For part B, this same type of a problem, we know that we have a 90-degree angle and we have a 45-degree angle. So we have x plus 45 plus 90, which gets us to the x plus 35. So I'm fine if you put down x plus 135 equals 180. And then you're going to subtract 135 from both sides. And we get x equals 45. Now, I completely know that, I get that you can do this in your head, you can use a calculator, you don't have to show any work. I understand that, that's fine. However, I'm trying to get you guys to think algebraically, get in the habit of making equations, get comfortable with it so you don't even think about it, okay? And so that's why I'm making you do it, is because I want you to get in this habit, okay? I know you can do this without writing the equations, but you're going to do it anyway. All right, moving on. So I want you guys to go ahead and give practice problem 1 a try. It's just like those last two examples. You're going to set up your equation, and then you're going to classify the triangle. By the way, I don't know if we even did that. It did say to classify the triangle. So this first one, we have three angles. The biggest one is 102. And if all the angles are different, that means all the sides are different. So this is an obtuse scalene triangle. For our other part B, that triangle, it's a right angle, so it must be a right triangle. And we found out that the actually, you can just look here, the two sides right here and here are the same. Therefore, it's isosceles, so you'd call it a right isosceles triangle. So, again, make sure you're going to find out what x is, write in your equation, then you're going to classify the triangle. So go ahead and try this right now.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
All right, let's go ahead and see how you did on this one. So we're going to go ahead and we can combine 44 plus 45. We can combine that first if you like. And when we do that, we get 89. So we're going to have x plus 89 equals 180. Hopefully you figured out that this is in your notes and this is part of the assignment. So this is one you're going to do in your actual notes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to subtract 89 from both sides. And we get x equals 91. So there's our value of x. Now, all three angles are, well, I'm sorry, all three angles are different. That means all sides are different. Therefore, it's going to be a scalene. But then the biggest angle is 91, which is greater than 90, so it's obtuse. So this is an obtuse scalene triangle. If you put obtuse scalene, I'm fine with that. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. This problem says, tell whether a triangle can have the given angle measures. If not, change the first angle measure so that the angle measures form a triangle. So again, you're going to first determine, do these angles add up to something that could be a triangle? And if not, you need to change the first angle measure, this one, so that the angle measures would form a triangle. So there's two parts to this problem. So take a moment and you solve this and you find out. Okay, let's see how you guys did with this. So when I add these together, and you can use a calculator for this, it's fine. When I add these together, I'm going to get 180 degrees. And so, since they add up to 180, it would be a yes. Now, for your knowledge sake, let's just say I'm going to make this 7 part A. Okay? Let's say that I had, I don't know, we'll say 56.2 degrees, 81.7 degrees, and 22.1 degrees. Let's say that I had this. When I add these up, I'm going to end up getting 160. That's what I get when I add up. So my answer is going to be, for this one, it's going to be no. And so what am I going to have to do to make this work up to 180? Well, I'm going to have to look at my first angle measure and say, well, I am 120. So if I do 180 minus the 160, I'm 20 away. So I'm going to have to add 20 to that. So I'm going to end up getting 56. Again, this is 56.2. I'm going to add that to 20, which is going to get me 76.2. And so 76.2 is what that new angle needs to be. Now, I am perfectly cool with this part and this part. You can do that in your calculator. Okay, I don't mind you doing that in your calculator. But we need to have this part done, and this part done, if it is a no. Okay, hopefully that makes perfect sense to you. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so our next set of problems, and this kind of is where I was leading before, why I wanted you to show your work. This is what happens if, now I have, it says find the value of x, classify each triangle. Same thing, except for now you'll notice I have two x's in only one angle. Okay, now keep in mind though, the x's mean that those are the same angle measurements, and if you look, across them are the sides, and the sides are equal. This means that's an isosceles, which means the angles, those two angles are the same, and those two sides are the same. This is the way I need to set this up. I'm going to have x plus 128 equals 180. I'm fine with you starting off with 2x plus 128 equals 180. And then at this point, you're going to solve your equation. So minus 128 minus 128. And I get 2x equals 52. Divide both sides by 2. I get x equals 26. Again, that work I just did, that better be in your notes. I want to see that you're doing this. Okay? And once I've done that, then I can go ahead and identify this has 128, so therefore it's obtuse. And since it has two of these little markings, I know it's isosceles. So it's an obtuse isosceles triangle. You know what my expectation is for the work, so I'm not going to make you, I'm not going to do the problem again for part B. The only thing I won't note is that, okay, so we have x plus x and 60 are your angles. So I'm going to go ahead and add x plus 60. You can start off right over here, 2x plus 60. I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides. Then I get 2x equals 120. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And I get x equals 60. So since all three of them have the same angle measurement, it's equiangular. And since all the angles are the same, it means all the sides are the same, so it's equilateral. So it's an equilateral, equiangular triangle. All right? So I'm going to give you guys time to work on this first one. And then you can try the second one, but if it's confusing to you, hang on and I'll go over it with you. Either way, it's fine with me. All right?
You know, parents are the same, no matter time, no place. They don't understand that us kids are going to make some mistakes. So to you other kids all across the land, there's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Say you did. So in this case, we have two x's and 135. So we're going to do 2x plus 135 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 135 from both sides. I get 2x equals 45. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And I get x equals 22.5. It's my value of x. And since we have an obtuse angle and both of these angles are the same on the opposite side, the two small ones are the same, that means the sides are equal, as we see right here. So this is an isosceles obtuse triangle, or an obtuse isosceles. It doesn't really make a difference which order. So it's isosceles and obtuse. Okay, for this last one, I'm going to move this up a little bit, so hang tight for a moment. Move this up, move that up. All right, so in this one, let's look at the information we have here. I know that I have two sides that are the same. That means that the opposite angles must be the same. So if this on the left, if angle A is 52, angle C must also be 52. If you didn't, oops, 52 degrees, not 52 squared. If you did not catch that, hopefully that makes total sense to you. So I'm going to go ahead and add the 52 plus 52 together to get 104, plus my 14x plus 6 equals 180. When I combine the 104 and the 106, I get 110 plus 14x equals 180. Now I'm going to subtract 110 from both sides. I get 14x equals 70. I'm going to divide them both by 14 now. And I get x equals 5. So that's how I solved it, and then I'm going to go ahead and write down what kind of triangle it is. Well, I know that, well, actually, I need to figure out this last one, don't I? So if I know that x is 5, I'm going to do 14 times 5 plus 6. And when I add that together, I'm going to get 76. So this is an acute triangle, and it is isosceles. So you could call this an acute isosceles. Okay, I hope this made total sense to you. This is the work I expect to see on your assignment. So at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to finish the notes in the packet. And number 16, you will need to write a complete sentence. And 17, you only have to do part A. Ignore part B. So you're doing 17A, not 17B. Okay? So best of luck with this, and you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.